Welcome back, everyone, to the Court of Swords. Going into hour number 3 here. Adam, what's up?
Chickens.
Chickens.
Chickens everywhere.
Chickens.
Volnak, I need you to make a Constitution save, or you'll become a were-chicken. No, you're fine. You carry the chicken back to the inn, and I presume you go straight to the room.
Yeah.
The innkeeper probably sees you and says something about like no outside food, but you ignore him and go upstairs.
Mm-hmm.
So we open on the room. It's getting dark outside, so the sun is setting. We've got kind of these sort of intense, like almost sort of film noir like light, like rays of light coming through the window. There's like dust hanging in the air. It's starting to get a little cold in the room. Raziel, you've set up the room. You've got the chalk etched on the floor. Did you light a lantern in the room or the fire pit?
I have like ceremonial candles that I bring with me that are lined up around the circle. I kind of envision if you have played Chrono Trigger, it's kind of the Magus's room when you first go to fight him in his lair, like halfway through the game. Kind of trying to invoke that type of vibe right now in the room.
Cool. All right. So the room has become pretty like different than when it first came in. So when you guys return, there are these candles. Have you done this before around Azrael or Volnak? Is this the first time?
I've done it, but I think every time that I've done it, they've opted to not be in the room.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So you walk in and there's this strange sigil etched on the floor, candles burning. And the wind through the light wind through the window is like flickering the candles, and they're kind of making that hissing and spitting sound.
I don't even think Volnak walks all the way in. He just like opens the door, outstretches the chicken, like it's just here, take it.
I maybe my back is to you and I have my cloak up, and when I turn, I have the face that actually is like a face of a Mara demon. Like a mask on, and I turn to you with that and walk over, raise the mask up and say, "Thank you very much. Is this the chicken I asked for, or is this dinner?" I'm kind of like
literally just like once he has it, the door closes. Just done.
When the door shuts up, thank you. I appreciate it. Is there anything else you need from me tonight?
He doesn't hear a response.
All right, we'll see you soon. I put the mask back on. It has slits for the eyes, but everything else is covered. It's a golden mask. Are you coming in, Azrael?
No, I'm standing outside the door, but listen.
Okay.
In case I'm needed.
Gotcha. And I proceed with the sacrifice. I go over and enter into the circle and sit down in it so that I'm sitting on the southern side of it. Is the chicken like lively, or is it tired at the like?
I think it's probably pretty tired out now after trying to run away and being dragged here. It's kind of gone into like how I mean, I guess if you haven't spent time on a farm or anything, you don't know what this is like. But like animals kind of like herbivores just kind of give up after a point where they're like, well, it was a good life, and it's just kind of like limp in your hand. It's given up on being alive. And seems like totally like placid now.
Okay. I basically just take the chicken out and take a dagger from my back. And I would think I'd probably just like, instead of stabbing it, I bring the blade towards me and hit my thumb and just cut its neck off, and then hold the chicken by its leg and let all the blood kind of fill the circle.
Okay, sure.
But as it goes over the chalk, it doesn't fill the runes. It like goes on the side of the runes that are on the ground. Mm-hmm. So it's just making like this weird blood circle.
Yeah.
And then I start speaking in weird demonic incantations, and you probably hear that, Azrael, if you're outside listening.
I'm downstairs eating, by the way.
Yeah. And then my eyes go full black, and I'm now communing with the great old one.
Nice. Now, do you have like a particular spell that you want to cast, or is this just like a ritual to try to like reach out into the darkness?
I think this is just a ritual to reach out to the darkness. Okay. I get, as a character, he gets anxious when he doesn't hear from the old god and starts to worry that perhaps the connection has been severed and all this is for naught. So I try to reach out as much as possible.
Awesome. Okay. Why don't you make a religion check for me, and we'll see how this goes.
Let's see. I have a 0 in religion, so this is a flat D20.
Okay. You've got inspiration if you want to.
I'm going to use it.
Okay.
18. I'm glad I did.
18. Okay. All right. So when you perform the ritual, we hear the sort of the first splatterings of blood hitting the wooden floor, and I think we get these in like Hannibal style, like hyper low depth of field, really close up, like macro slow motion, the drops of blood hitting and kind of splashing on the floor. And then as the first few drops start to splatter down, they hit like sort of slower and slower, and then instead of the dripping, they start to sizzle when they hit the floor, like hiss. And as you're chanting, you're wearing your like golden like Oni mask and bleeding this chicken out. The room around you grows dark. A black wind kind of blows through the room, guttering the candles out. And now all we can see is the circle. And then we're aware of like you're kind of adrift in a black space. There's just the white chalk and the blood and you. And we're aware of a sudden movement in the dark. And like this is like a whale in the ocean depths moving, as far as like size difference goes. Something colossal shifts in the cosmic darkness around you, and I don't think we see the form of the elder thing that lurks in the darkness between worlds, but you feel it, you sense it's shifting, and you can feel its attention fall upon you.
I don't stand up. I maybe take the mask and pull it back and say, "It is I, Raziel, your servant. Do you wish to speak to me?"
And when we see your face, this is you undisguised, right? Like we can see the sort of your angelic countenance.
Right. And I have runes on my face, and there's a bunch of bullshit just going on here. Different inscribings and tattoos and things like that.
Cool. Yeah. And it's almost like seeing the face of a perfectly crafted like porcelain doll, but it's been defaced, right? Like you have these like scratch tattoos in your face, and like it's obvious that you've made an effort to change your appearance from this sort of near perfect look that the other two have. That shifting in the darkness, it feels like someone waking from a nap, right? Like you can feel them kind of like almost like roll over, and you hear a voice, and it doesn't communicate to you in words because it exists beyond words, but your mind turns them into something you can understand, and you hear them, but you're not hearing with your ears, you're hearing with your mind. And the voice speaks. It speaks to you and says, why have you called for me?
I have come to the forest as you instructed. I can feel the Mara here, but I need more direction.
Go down into the valley. The old wound is bleeding once again. Find its source. Drink deep.
Is there anything else you wish?
An enemy waits for you. Sacrifice your friends to it. Do not let it touch you.
I sit there and probably like contemplate that on like 10 minutes, which seems like an eternity to me, but probably a second to him.
Yeah.
And then I say, as you wish. And I kind of like click back into the room, and I look down, and all the blood from the runes is gone, or from the chicken is gone. And the runes are now, where they were white with chalk, are now stained red, as if the blood has been sucked up into them. And I quickly smear them all off.
Right.
Like really nervous about anyone else finding that. And then I just make the room as if it was normal again.
Yeah. So Azrael, you hear Raziel's part of that muffled through the wall. but not the other voice, not the sound, not the black wind of hell that blows through the room, none of that. But you do hear, I think that as you're like wiping the runes from the floor, the body of the chicken lying next to you twitches a few times, kind of like gets up suddenly. And even though its throat is cut and it's been bled dry, it's kind of like weak. It gets up suddenly, squawks loudly, staggers around the room for a second, and then falls over. And when it does, its body kind of like comes apart like wet clay. So bits of feather and meat and bone just kind of like crumble. And like a little like cluster of maggots kind of just burst out of it and start chewing on the suddenly decomposed chicken flesh.
And I'm the only one that sees this?
You're the only one in the room. Yeah.
Yeah. I utter to myself and I just say shit. I walk over there and start spreading out the mush with my bare hands so that it doesn't congeal into, because I've seen things happen like this where the Mara has come from this, listening to the conversations or trying to find out what's going on. So I spread it all about and I'm just like hastily doing that in the room.
Okay, yeah. So you go to like clean up the mess, and you notice the maggots. They're like regular plump little white like grubs, but they all have like human faces.
Yeah. That's as soon as I do that, I start to. Is there like there's no? Are there any pots, or maybe I have a pot?
Yeah, well, there's like a chamber pot you could just like scoop it into.
Yeah, I scoop it into a pot and then try to light it on fire to just burn.
Definitely. You just pour like you've got a lantern. You can just pour some oil and just light
Are
it.
the faces saying anything?
No, they're just like they're various like faces, mostly of like old faces of men and women, and they look like they're all like sort of gawping blindly and like gnashing their little teeth.
Accept the darkness.
Exactly.
Awesome. Yeah. So you grab the pot and like scoop and light it on fire. And Azrael, you can come in anytime you want, but.
I hear the sounds of things being cleaned up, and I assume that it's over. So I walk in. As soon as I walk in, I just sense just an overwhelming sense of just evil or just dark presence that was here. Just it makes me sick. I have to walk back out because I can't go in there right now because it's just
you look around and like nothing. I was gonna say nothing's on fire, but that's not true. Like Raziel isn't on fire and he seems fine. What do you look like, Raziel, when Azrael looks at you when he comes into the room?
I mean, I think you've seen this before, but it's like the purest form of what I am, where the tattoos all over the face and on the arms, pretty much the entire body that you could see. Long flowing robes are on with kind of a hood up over my head with my black hair. My eyes are still like solid black, maybe when you see me. And I go like, I put my hand over my eyes and they change back and I'm say, so sorry you had to see that.
I just give a grunt and I walk back outside. I just wanted to make sure nothing was awry in the room, and then I walk outside into the fresh air because I can't be in that room right now, or I'll lash out or something.
I stand up and walk to the door and say, Azrael, we are close.
I hope it's worth the price.
Well, you know how this goes. We are close. We will need to go further into the forest. That is our next path.
I know. May the gods be with us.
Just eating my face downstairs while this is happening.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So let's get downstairs. So are you sitting like by yourself, Vulak, or like where are you?
Just sitting. Yeah, I just sat down by myself at a bench. Just started ordering some food. I think right now some steam buns, pork buns are like these are made with pork, are they?
Yeah, so you've got food. You've got food in front of you. Little like bamboo steamer with some pork buns. They brought you some soup. And it's like a communal like eating area. So there's like big long tables. So people will come and like sit down at the table like with you.
Yeah.
You actively try to like get them to leave you alone. Like, are you conspicuously by yourself, or
No,
are you, like,
just minding my own. Yeah. eating weary traveler style.
Okay, sure. So you're sitting across from there are two guys who they're travelers as well. You can see they have the dust of the road on their clothes. They've got walking sticks and hats that they've set aside. And they're eating and drinking. They've got rice wine, big bottle of it. And both of them have tattoos like all over the back of their hands and their arms, on their neck. And their tattoos, for the most part, are either lascivious looking or violent or both. So like, people stabbing each other and like naked ladies and like they look like pirates, these guys.
Yeah.
And they're sitting and talking across the table from you, like quite loudly about a wagon that they found on the road. And at first, like the drunker they get, the more like upfront about what they're talking about. Like initially it was like, well, that was a spot of luck. Yeah, it was. Like, I can't believe they didn't have a guard. And it gets more and more like, I can't believe you killed both of them. And like they're like basically just like talking about some poor like caravan on the road that they like murdered everybody and stole their stuff. But they're totally unashamed. They don't seem to like care that anyone can hear them. And they're getting like drunker and drunker as the night goes on. But as you've been sitting here, they've just been like talking about this evil act they committed.
Yeah. I think it's taking everything in his power as Vulak realizes what's like, that they literally just got done like killing helpless innocents, in his power to just kill them there on site, like, just smite them down. But I think he's just holding it together and listening for information, realizing that it's gonna like, that he should, if he's gonna take action, he should, get his cohorts, and it's not gonna. He has a larger task in mind than just petty thievery and stuff. Like it's a real internal struggle right now. I think his fists are like actually clenched, and he's grabbing like a pork bun and it's just smashing in his hand.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
When we see that reaction, one of them, maybe you don't notice right away that he's addressing you, but he repeats himself. So he's like, "Hey, you there? Hey," and then you realize that he's staring. One of them staring right at you.
I guess Vulak just looks at him. Oh, I'm sorry. Are you talking to me?
He nods and he leans in and he's like, "Have a drink with us, monk. We're celebrating." And he like slides the bottle of cheap rice wine across the table to you.
No, I think you two are having quite enough fun on your own. I'm just very hungry.
And he looks at his friend and looks at you and he's like, "I didn't realize I was whispering. Did you not hear me, monk? I said drink." And he like pounds the table. And he gives you this sort of predatory grin, like, "I'm trying to pick a fight with you." Like, it's like, "Oh, you're a monk and I'm going to goad you because I know like you probably can't drink or whatever." So he's like, "I said drink." And he kind of like leans back and you can see he's got this big like kind of scimitar on his belt. Uh-huh. And he's obviously showing it to you like, "Ha ha, I have a sword."
You might choose your next words carefully. You're very drunk. I'm very sober. You don't know anything about me. Perhaps we should just keep it that way.
And he let me know if you like. Do you want to try to like intimidate him?
Yeah, just like cautionary intimidation. Like think about what you're doing right now. Yep. And the fact that you're really drunk and I'm not. I think actually as I'm doing that, there's like silverware that I was using, or just like chopsticks or whatever, and I'm like twirling them about, like showing how dexterous I am, and just like maybe you don't want to fuck with me. Like,
okay, yeah, make an intimidation check.
Sure. Let's go here. Where's intimidation? Fuck me.
Okay, so he stands up. You can hear his like ring mail kind of like rattling, and he stands up. And normally he'd be wearing like a helmet. It's like a horseman's helmet, but it's sitting to the side. It's his like lanky, kind of greasy black hair. And he stands up, and you can see the full like the tattoos on his arms. And he looks down at you and he says, "Maybe you didn't hear me, brother. No one says no to Desert Wolf. Drink the wine."
Contemplating. We're inside Volnak's mind now.
Sure.
I think this is when Azrael walks in. I just came downstairs from upstairs.
Right, yeah. So we get the shot of him, standing up suddenly and being like, "I said drink," and we see you like,
like my eyes dart to him, like
pondering,
immediately.
and then Azrael comes in behind you, Vulnak. So I don't think maybe you sense him, but you don't see him.
I don't see what see as
You don't see Azrael behind you. Yeah.
Am I able to come down or no?
Yeah, you and Azrael can be together. We're coming downstairs.
Okay, what part of the conversation do we come in at? Do we know there's an escalation here?
I mean, you can both make perception checks, both of you, because it's a crowded room. So we'll see if you get a chance to spot it.
14.
Yeah, 14 for Azrael.
8 for Azrael.
Okay. Yeah, Raziel, I think you spot you see like the shoulder and head of this like greasy horseman like stand up, and he's shouting at someone, and he says no one says no to Desert Wolf. I said drink, but you don't necessarily know that it's Vulnak that he's shouting at.
Okay. Well, I want to wait till I know that it's Vulnak that he's shouting at,
Sure.
and
You
then
can
I
start
will make
making
an
your-
action.
You start making your way over there.
Yeah.
All right. I think
I think
at the very least I sense that the other two are either on their way or coming, just because I'm hearing and like as I'm anticipating a fight, I'm just going into focus mode and like, all right, he could smash him into this plate. We should do this.
Yeah.
I think we can sense the angelic force of him in the crowd. So we walk in that general direction because we could sense that he's probably there.
Yeah. Okay. So this is what I want to do. I just kind of chuckle at him. I'm just like, perhaps, why not? And then I grab the wine. This is what I want to do. I'm gonna grab the wine. Is it like a pretty sturdy little bottle of?
Yeah, like they serve it in like a dried like gourd with a little cork you put in the top. So it's just like a gourd with a little like wrap.
Doing my very best then to just like stay really calm and just like jovial. I grab it.
Yeah.
I like go like that, and then as I'm bringing it back like this, I'm about to take it, and then I just want to smash it right across his face to just knock him out right cold if I can.
Sure. Yeah, definitely. Okay, yeah, make an attack.
Basically, I guess it would be unarmed strike to stun or
yeah,
kill.
it's an unarmed strike. If you reduce him to 0 hit points, you can knock him out.
Actually, no, I think I'm trying to kill this guy.
Yeah,
That wouldn't be remorse. Yeah.
Put an end to him. All right, cool. I mean, you can decide when you deal the last damage. So you probably won't be able to do it in 1 hit, but you might be able to do it in 2.
Yeah.
He's got like reinforced, like basically studded leather. So
Would it be possible to do flurry of blows? How do I do flurry of blows in this?
You just say you want to do it.
Yeah.
So every time, when you make an attack, let me get his AC for you, and then we'll walk through how that works. But yeah, like the bottle to the face is the first of several hits.
Yeah.
So let's see. So he's got AC 12. And the way your attack goes, you make an attack, and then you can make another attack for free. I think as a bonus action. Let me double check for
Sure.
monks. I know you basically always get 2 hits. So. We'll see. You may only need the first.
Watch me fucking trip, and fall on my face.
As martial arts, so you make one unarmed strike as a bonus action.
Yeah.
So you hit with the attack, then you get a second shot if you need one, and then you can spend a key point to make 2 more strikes if you need to.
And I get those back after resting, yeah?
Yes. Yeah.
It's nighttime. I'm assuming I'm going to have a rest anyway.
So you've got potentially up to 4 attacks on him before he gets to do anything.
Yeah, so I get 2 already as is.
I think it's 3. So it's 1 for the regular attack, and then if you spend a key point, it's 2 more.
Then it's 2 more. Gotcha.
1 key for 2 unarmed strikes instead of 1. Okay, cool. Go ahead and make your regular attack.
Sure. Unarmed strike.
12 AC. Okay.
Now, here's the thing. I'm going to lawyer a little bit since I did roll a 7. Do I get an advantage because he's fucking drunk?
I think that's fair. Yeah. He didn't expect you to hit him in the face.
Yeah.
He expects you to be
Like, because I'm being very deceptive about it. Like,
yeah, I think that's fair. Yeah, go ahead and roll damage.
Sure.
Okay. He has 6 hit points. So do you want to kill him or do you want to just knock him out?
I think I'm gonna kill him actually.
Okay, all right.
And
So,
just straight taking him out.
How does that happen? You've got this like gourd in your hand, and then do you just like shove it into his face and like break his nose up into his brain?
Yeah,
or, like,
that's exactly what I'm doing. Yeah, it's like going like this, and then the gourd or whoever just goes right in crushing his nose and.
So it's
shoving
less
his bones into his brain.
it's less the gourd. The gourd almost cushions the blow, right? Because you hit him in the face with that, but then your hand goes through it into his face, right?
Yeah.
It's your arm, but you just happen to like break the thing through. Okay, so when Azrael and Raziel, when you walk up, you just see Vulnak just like get up and smash this guy in the face. He grabs his face for a second, and his eyes kind of like roll back, and he just falls to the floor. And his friend next to him gets up and like drops to his knees next to the guy, and is like, "Wolf, Wolf," and is like shaking him, and he's just like lying there gurgling as he dies. So Volnak, what are you doing?
Well, immediately as this happens, does anyone else come to fight?
Yeah, what else is going on in the?
It looks like Desert Wolf's only friend was this one person with him. If there are more of these like highwaymen, they're not in the tea house right now.
Okay. I would like... So, I need to ask you a mechanical question.
Sure.
It does not say in the book, is Awakened Mind an action or a bonus action? Or can I just do it at will because it allows me to communicate telepathically with someone? It opens up. It's did I put the page on? It's page 110.
Okay. I'm just gonna check and see if it's part of the SRD. What's it called again?
Awakened Mind. I mean, I can read you the full description in the book.
Yeah, read it for me, so I don't have to go get my.
It's very short. It says, starting at first level, your alien knowledge gives you the ability to touch the minds of other creatures. You can telepathically speak to any creature you can see within 30 feet of you. You don't need to share a language with the creature for it to understand your telepathic utterances.
It's just talking. It's so you just
Okay.
you can talk with your mind or your mouth. So
And
it's
this is what I would like to do. I would like to cast Friends on the guy that's leaning down next to the person,
Okay.
which is a cantrip.
Yep.
And then I want to cast or use Awakened Mind to speak to him. So Friends gives me advantage on all charisma checks.
Okay. Does he get a saving throw against the friends? spell?
I just cast it right there. For the duration, you have advantage on all charisma checks directed at the creature your spell that is in hostile
Okay,
target.
so it's you don't really affect him. You're actually casting it on yourself in regards to him.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure. So his friend Desert Wolf has gotten smashed in the face, and he's just like, "Oh no, what happened?" Desert Wolf, hey, and then he like looks up, and then he sees his friend Raziel approaching.
Yeah, and then I want to speak to him and say, your friend was in the wrong here. Apologize to the monk, and do not wish harm on him to any or at any later date.
Yeah. Okay. Like just be polite. Say you're sorry.
Yeah.
I guess you're not really intimidating him. You're just telling him what he should be doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Make a persuasion check.
From some phantom voice after his friend just died.
Yeah. He hears his conscience.
So I have advantage on this, right?
Yes, you do.
16. I didn't need it, but
Okay.
Good. We're good.
So using the dark magic, and I think Azrael, you're witness to all of this, right? Like you're kind of standing at a remove, envisioning all this thing happening. And Raziel, it's a somatic and material component. So Raziel doesn't say anything, but you see him making like arcane hand gestures.
yeah, and maybe at the end of them, like my pinky puts makeup across some of the tattoos or something like that.
Yeah, and you're like your hands are glowing faintly, but it's like relatively subtle. But he doesn't say anything, but you notice Azrael. He does this, and then his eyes glow slightly, and he like you see the guy look over at Raziel. There's an exchange you don't hear because he speaks directly into his mind, and then and then the bandit he slowly gets up from the body. And he puts his hands up to you, Volnak, and he's like, I'm so sorry, honored sir. He had a bad temper. And his friend is like dying on the ground, like you can hear him gurgling, and he's just gotten up and ignored him. And he's like, please anything I can do to make it. And he like reaches into his, he takes his purse off his belt and he throws it on the table and it spills open and a bunch of like coins split onto the table and they all have like blood on them, like dried blood on the coins. He's like, please take them.
Donate those to the monastery after all the trouble you've caused.
And he's looking at Vulak like, what do you want me to do?
I look at Azrael. I'm just like, do we trust this sort of scum to actually follow through, or will he just flee away to the next one?
Vulnak, side question: what is something that I would know that normal people wouldn't about you?
Then you'd know.
Yeah, like just in travel, like something. It doesn't have to be a big secret, just something stupid.
I will murder anybody that that I deem to be truly
Something
evil.
a little bit more lighthearted.
What are you looking for here?
Well, basically, I want to say something to.
Metagaming as fuck.
No. I want to say something to him so that because you've seen me do this before to get us out of fights.
Right.
And so I want to say something to him that only a friend of yours would know for him to say to you so that you kind of get the clue in that this is
Oh, I see.
happening.
Yeah, I guess I shared that once I had a small dog that I treasured named Joyce.
Okay. I telepathically say to the guy, tell him that you will pray for Joyce and all will be forgiven.
Right. Yeah. So he's like scooping up the coins from the table and he looks at you and he's like, honored sir, I will take these to the temple and I will pray for Joyce's well-being in heaven.
I guess at that, just like realizing what's happening, he's just like, very well.
And so he scoops up the coins, still like marked with the blood of the peasants that they killed on the road, and he takes his pouch and he crouches down to Desert Wolf and like undoes his belt and takes his sword and his coin purse as well, and he looks at you, the three of you, and for a moment, I think Azrael, you see it in his eyes. He looks at Raziel with this like helpless rage, like some part of him underneath the obsequiousness is like, I know you're ensorceling me and I fucking hate you. Like you can see it, like his soul is rebelling against the control. And then his mind takes over and it's like, and he like backs out of the room and goes to leave. And he disappears into the crowd.
And maybe I'm probably like standing on the stairs or something. Maybe I just like put my cloak on and realize I can't come down into the general population. I just go back upstairs.
At the silence, I guess, of things having settled and combat ending, Vulnak looks around. Is the innkeeper there? Who's witnessed all of this? Like, what's getting the state of the room?
I mean, there's definitely like there's a bunch of people nearby like looking at you. The place is like fairly loud, and you weren't, right? There wasn't a lot of shouting or explosions or anything.
Yeah.
And there are a few people like looking at you, and someone has gone to get the innkeeper. And so he's standing there like with his arms folded, his like wispy beard and mustache, kind of like hiding his wrinkled face, and he looks at you like expectant for an explanation.
Yeah. I guess I walk over to the innkeeper. Vulnak walks over and says, my apologies. This man just got done raiding and killing people on the road, and I couldn't take it anymore. Frankly, I despise evil, and I think you should probably feel the same way as somebody who likes to keep the peace in your place. I did what needed to be done and put it off as far as I could. Hope you can understand that.
Yeah, he nods and he nods. He's like, yes, I too despise evil, but mostly I dislike chaos. Are you going to cause more trouble for me?
No, of course not. I'll happily deal with this body.
He looks down at it and looks at you and he says, thank you. Get it out of here. I don't need any more trash in my house.
I think all of us could use a little less trash in our lives in general. And then just grab.
Yank him, throw him over your shoulder. Okay, cool. So you want to go like take him outside? What are you gonna do with his body?
I don't know. I'm just gonna take him probably like to the outskirts of like the whatever. I don't know. Is there like a little back way or backyard? Like what? Just some place I can dispose of him.
I mean, there isn't really like a pile you can throw the body on. No, not really.
Is there any sort of fire outside?
Not like a big bonfire. No, there's lanterns that illuminate the streets at night, like paper lanterns to block the wind, yeah, I mean, you go outside, like, dragging this bandit's body, and I think a few people outside, because there's tables outside, folks sitting around. They kind of turn and look at you.
I'm just like, had a bit too much to drink this one. Gonna let him sleep it off out here.
Okay, and we just
kind of prop him up on the sidewall.
Leave him in an alley.
Yep, he's just in an alley to be discovered.
Awesome, fantastic.
No longer in the innkeepers.
All right, good. Cool. So you've disposed of Desert Wolf's body. Meanwhile, inside, Azrael, what are you doing?
I'm apologizing. I apologize to the innkeeper as well for my friend. Tell him that he was a bit on the reckless side, and I walk outside to get that breath of fresh air I was wanting.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a little bit. I have Vulak in my eyesight just to make sure everything's all right with him.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just out there, just trying to relax after seeing dark magic twice now. And yeah, just trying to be by myself, whispering to the blade. I kind of talk to the blade, sort of like how Tom Hanks does to the volleyball. Just sort of, I was been alone with the blade for so long and sort of talk at it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Just like, oh my God, it's been such a trying night. I don't know how I can take this. And just sitting there looking at the sunset and just trying to relax and calm down.
Okay. Yeah. So the sun is sort of fading behind the mountains, and night falls. So the group of you, you're able to eat. You can either have food brought up to your room, Raziel, if you don't want to leave, or you can eat in the main room. Definitely nobody bothers you now. Now they just stay well out of your way. You've established yourselves as people who break faces when you get in trouble. So you rest, and I don't think anything, unless is there anything anybody wants to do tonight, or should we?
Finish my goddamn meal.
Yeah, it's definitely still there.
Am I at all worried that guy is gonna like come back? I mean, because I know how the trick works, right? So I understand that afterwards this could not.
Everything that you can read as a player in your spell description is something that your character knows as well. So you do know that when the spell ends, the creature realizes you use magic to influence its mood and becomes hostile towards you.
Okay, so I would know that it's not a safe.
He's gone somewhere, probably got a minute closer to the temple, and then was like, wait a fucking second.
Okay.
I've been ensorcelated, and then he's going to deal with it however he thinks.
Being that I know that we're going to go into the forest, I would assume we're going to go into the forest in the next day or two. I go back up to the room and immediately start casting the ritual Find Familiar.
Okay.
And I want to call upon a hawk.
Nice.
To track him throughout the town, because I could see through its eyes and hear it, whatever, up to, what is it, 100 feet? Yeah, while the familiar is within 100 feet of you, you can communicate. So I just want to like track this man to make sure he's not coming back with
Cue Assassin's Creed Eagle sound.
a shit ton of bandits.
Yeah. Okay. So it's going to take an hour to conjure your familiar, and it can take the form of many things: a bat, a cat, a crab, lizard, rat, raven, etc. But you want a hawk. And the familiar has the statistics of the chosen form, though it is a celestial, fey, or fiend instead of a beast. So in your case, it would be a fiendish hawk.
Yeah, fiendish.
Yep, fiendish hawk.
I would say it's like a hawk without skin. Or like the feathers are still plucked into a body, but it's bloody and veiny and all that nonsense.
Cool. Yeah. So its feathers have like a like oily kind of like slickness of blood to them, and when it flies, it like drips blood.
Right.
Cool blood hawk. I'm into it. Okay, cool. So you can conjure this up. And then your familiar is like around all the time. Like this is a thing. You
Right.
can temporarily dismiss it into a pocket dimension, or dismiss it forever. You can only have one familiar at a time. And when you cast a spell with a range of touch, the familiar can deliver the spell for you. So that's cool. So you can conjure up a hawk of blood.
Gross ass hawk.
Cool.
A
All right.
bloodhawk, yeah.
Yeah. So your hawk. Do you have a name for your hawk, or do you want me to come up?
No, I don't name any of the creatures I summon because I don't want to grow close because I know them to be demons.
Yeah, totally.
And when you get on, I think I had a bad experience getting on a first name basis with a demon.
Right.
And demons have people they report to, hired demons, and it's better to not be known.
I like that. So you're like, yeah, I summon a familiar so it can watch people, but I also understand that it's watching and reporting on me.
Right.
Okay, cool. All right. So yeah, I think you have to use, so to summon it, you use some of the the skull and some of the bones from the chicken as part of the frame to build this hawk around.
Gross.
And rather than being like a hunting hawk or like a noble kind of falcon, it's more like a vulture kind of thing, like a little one of those turkey vultures. And is just dripping and kind of oily when you summon it, but it functions as a hawk. And then you send it out the window to go and find this guy.
Yeah, I go over, open the window, and send it out, and maybe whisper the. Did I catch the man's name when I was speaking to him?
Not that guy, no.
Well, I give him the description of the man that I was speaking
Sure.
telepathically
Yeah, I
to.
mean, you can communicate telepathically, so you can just be like, this memory I have of this person, dump it straight in.
Yeah, go.
Okay. I mean, you see him. You can only see within 100 feet, but he hasn't gone far. He got a little ways, spent some time being confused with what happened. Then he got angry, and I think you see him standing outside, you can't tell the use of the building, but it's like a raucous sounding building. There's people talking inside and drinks sort of rattling, and it's him outside with like a half dozen other tattooed men and women who all have a similar look, right? They're wearing studded armor and have weapons. They look like the rest of his bandit gang, and they're talking, and he like points back at the inn and is having this conversation with them.
How far are they from the inn?
I mean, no more than 100 feet. It's maybe like two buildings over.
God fucking damn it.
They don't.
This is your fault, Max.
No, it's not. You let him go.
Well, I didn't let him go.
I mean, make an insight check, right?
Okay.
You can hear them talking.
15.
So they're arguing right now about what to do because Desert Wolf was their leader, and now he's dead. And so really he's like, we got to go back there. This fucking guy bewitched me. We got to go get revenge for Desert Wolf. And then there's a woman in the gang who's like, oh, Desert Wolf's dead? I guess it's my turn to lead. And he's like, no, you're missing the point. Evil witch, we got to go deal with this. And she's like, yeah, but I'm in charge now. And so there's kind of a little bit of that going on. They're not immediately in a rush to go and fight you, but there's some disagreement about what to do.
He got what he deserved.
If I'm looking through the hawk's eyes, and I know you said they're pretty far away, can I see them from my window?
No.
Can I see them approach from my window?
Yeah, I think so. I think you can see the street underneath.
Okay. Then I'll sit there in the window and wait for them to approach. My eyes are sitting there. They're solid. They're black glazed across because I'm in the hawk eyes. And then the second that I know that I could see them from my window, I want to telepathically communicate with you said the woman that was trying to take over.
Yeah. Okay. So before that happens, Azrael and Vulnak, what are the two of you doing?
I walked in. I'm in the room with him, and I'm like, "What did you just throw out the window?"
I guess I'm following in because I was outside, dealing with the body. I come in with him.
I'm trying to see if I can hear stuff still. During this time, you are deaf and blind with regard to your own senses. I don't respond.
Yep.
Okay.
You just see me staring out the window with my back to you.
Okay, then I just grumpily just sit there like waiting for him to come back because I can tell that he's not hearing me at all.
I say to Azrael, like, should have let me deal with him.
He wasn't trying to kill you. The friend was. That would have been wrong.
He just got done murdering people that are innocent and were alive hours ago. And now he's alive to murder again.
Men can change, damn it. You have to have hope.
He's just like, yeah, I'm done. Whatever.
That's right. Walk away.
I'm still here, by the way.
I guess we just sort of rest in the room. Like, I'm sitting down because heavy armor is not light, and just resting my feet for a bit from the weight of the armor, and just waiting for Raziel to come back to, or because we assume he's in some sort of trance or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. So you watch them argue for a little bit. Let me make a roll to see who ends up taking over the gang. Okay, so cooler heads prevail. This guy who was with Desert Wolf chills out, and eventually they like take him into the building that they're all staying in. And you don't see them for the rest of the evening.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Right. They scared.
Well, I send the Bloodhawk to the portal dimension, whatever that looks like.
Okay.
He just like a fucking pocket of space opens up in the air, and he just flies into it, and it closes in the middle of the sky. Cool. My eyes go black, or come back from being black, and turn around. I see the two of them sitting there, and I look towards Vulnak and just say, "You know, there was many of them outside about to come and fight us because of your actions."
The only reason they know of our actions is because you let him get away.
Why did you strike the man in the first place?
That's what I want to know.
He just got done murdering and killing people on the road. I tried not to, but then he threatened me. What would you have me do?
For all you know, they could have just been drunking and making up stories. You can't just assume.
Oh, and I assume that was fake blood on the coins that he got out of his coin purse.
That was after you killed the man.
But I'm right.
That's irrelevant. The point is, you need to be a little more cautious.
I close my...
Oh, I'm sorry, Father. Sorry to disappoint you.
I am disappointed.
I love Azrael just like perfectly embodied a paladin's mindset. Like, but I'm right. That's irrelevant. Dan knows how to paladin.
I close up the book and put it away, and as I'm walking by the two of them, I'm just like, "You need to work on your temper, Vulnak. We spoke about this."
My temper, when used properly, dispels evil from the land. Something a paladin should encourage.
I get real close and I say, "You best watch your tongue." And go back over to the other side of the room and let them hash it out.
Speaking of evil, what did you learn from the ritual?
I turn and say that we must go deeper into the forest. They only told us to go deeper into the old wound, which I have an idea where that is, but I will need to do some scouting with a friend. We can do that tomorrow.
Who is this friend you speak of?
Do you really want to know?
I would like an idea, at least.
Like a pocket dimension opens up and there's a giant blood fucking oily bird in front of you.
I just jump back in surprise. Like,
yeah, like no. I think that's the thing. There's like a tearing sound, and then on the windowsill, you see this bird that wasn't there before, and it just kind of like cocks its head, and it like doesn't have its eyes are just like empty sockets, and it's just dripping black blood on the sill. Just kind of cocks its head at you.
Put it away. I don't want to see it. Put it away.
I told you. I snap my finger. He goes back inside.
Yep.
He's not evil. He's simply... No, he's probably evil. You're right.
Evil dripping off of that.
Literally from hell, probably evil. Maybe not, though. Who knows?
He won't harm us, at least. Understand that.
At least as long as you have control over it, that is.
I just kind of nod. Say, yes, we don't want to speak of that incident.
So tomorrow we set out to the woods.
That is what I wish to do. Is that okay with you two? Volnak? Can you
Yes,
stand
I
not getting
will.
into a fight for a couple more
Kill
hours?
the rest of the bandits while we're here.
Look at both of you guys. I'm just like,
I'm going to bed.
I see you walk 5 feet. I'm just like, all right, good night. I would shut your imaginary door so you don't have to speak to us, but it doesn't exist. Maybe I like climb into bed.
Okay. All right.
You sleep.
So you sleep. Okay. Sounds good. All right. So you all rest, and the next day comes. What's everybody do? Who wakes up first? I presume you're in an inn, so it's not like you're, unless there is a potential threat. Do you take turns staying up, like watching the door, or?
I think I get up first if I don't anticipate, like watching the door or whatever. I don't think they would mount an attack like that.
Yeah, it seems to you fairly unlikely that they would just like straight up like roll up on the inn.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's
So I wake up and I think Volnak, having taken note of the innkeeper talking about how beautiful the view is and everything, is up early to meditate, and he's like painting the scene basically, and like making little scribbled notes and little illustrations of things.
yeah. There's a
the morning.
there's like a balcony you can stand on.
Yep, standing in there,
stand
kind
up
of surveying the land, keep an eye out, in the morning, just to see, what the general vibe is, considering last night's goings on, and also painting the scene.
Well, you get 25 experience, Volnak. Congrats.
Yeah, what up?
25 experience, so that's good. Yep. Nice work.
Fucking boatloads of XP. Crazy. What is, I always forget, what is the next level from 3? It's
2,700.
2,700, right? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
925. What's up?
I think I'm up pretty early because I have to get ready to walk amongst the living, as it were.
Yeah, you gotta put your face on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Azrael gets up early to go outside and do martial exercises to keep in shape, just practicing swinging the sword and just training and exercising a bit, as it does every morning at dawn.
For some reason, I just imagine you like beating up a tree, like,
Yeah, just that.
Yeah, the town awakens at dawn as well, right? Like it's a monastery. There's lots of people like out practicing their katas and stuff. The monks, there are sun worshipping monks who are awakened at dawn. So you're not alone, certainly in this. The town is up and operating. So what else do you need to do before you leave?
I'm pretty much done once I put on my disguise.
Yeah. Okay.
Dan, do you need to pray or anything?
I already prayed in the night, and I'm good to go. Just waiting to see your guys' faces come out the front door.
Okay. I would probably open up the rift inside the room and set the hawk outside and basically just tell him to fly right above us. 80 or 70 feet up in the air.
Okay.
So that I can at least watch over us.
So when you conjure the hawk out onto the sort of windowsill out on the little veranda where Volnak is painting, it kind of like makes an annoyed like hissing sound at the fact that it's like summoned into daylight, and kind of like hops angrily on the banister a couple of times, and then tilts its head at you, and then flies up and circles up into the air.
And maybe do I see you painting? Because I'm out on the porch, right, Max?
Yeah, you'd see me painting.
Okay. I come over and study the piece and say, oh, it's a lovely piece. Your skills are improving.
Compared to what? Yours? Stick
No.
to your evil bird.
I meant it only as a compliment. It's a great piece. They are improving. As you do more, they get better. Is that not the way to hone your craft?
I'm a little on edge from last night. Forgive me.
You are forgiven. It's great. You should give it to the innkeeper as payment for the incident last night. He's a nice man. Maybe you'll even get some breakfast out of it.
Maybe. He doesn't seem like one that would appreciate the arts. I think this is just here from someone before him.
Maybe so. I believe Azrael is downstairs. I'm going to go join him. We'll see you soon.
I will join you shortly.
I walk out of the room, go downstairs. Meet up with Azrael, then just wait.
Sure. All right. Yeah. So the group of you collect downstairs and are ready to head out.
Yep.
Okay.
How's our I guess rations? Do we have to like restock it?
Yeah. I mean, now that you don't have somebody who can like regularly go out and hunt for food for you, probably worth looking into rations. You have whatever's in the pack that you got when you started.
Right.
How much rations?
Dungeoneer's pack has 10.
I think that's what I have.
Yeah, we can assume that your packs are like full.
Dungeoneer's pack. All right, then I guess we're
Yeah.
Good.
I'm at 10 rations.
With 10 as well.
okay.
So we'll eat one of those and then go.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So you set out now. The
Oh, wait, just you could even do this at the sidebar. Just like before, I mentioned to the others,
You can either come with me or not, but I'm going to donate that gold. That young man.
and I just we can even do like a but I go there, and I give them a gold and donate or whatever their thing. I say, like,
It's honor this man.
and I just give them a little bit of give him a scroll that has his face.
right. So you drew
Yeah.
the nameless brother.
Yeah. I say,
As I understand, of course, he has no name, but he's a good one.
Yeah, and the Temple of the Hierophant, they take your coin and thank you for your donation, and promise that he'll be acknowledged for his good deed.
Mhm.
The whole experience seems sort of like strange to them. They're like, oh, okay, that's interesting. And the person you talk to, she's polite and quiet. It's like being in a library. And she takes the coin and thanks you.
I
she
remove
invites
one
you-
gold from my pouch.
Yeah, she invites you, to peruse the library at your leisure, if you wish.
Mhm.
But
Give her a slight bow and then
but I guess you're like, I gotta go. I got
yeah.
Okay. Cool. All right. So you go and rejoin your party, and the group of you you head out. And I guess we leave the monastery behind us. The three of you hit the road and start to head south into the Shulin Valley, down into the misty vale, and you have the dark shape of the blood bird cycling overhead, keeping an eye out for you.
Mhm.
Did you guys roll for your gold, by the way?
I think I just started with 15.
Yeah, you start with a set amount.
I never
Based
did.
Based on your character, you don't roll it based
Oh,
on the way
really?
that we're doing. Yeah, the way we're doing equipment, you just get the equipment from your class.
Mm.
So it'll say an amount from your class or your background.
Okay, I'll look for it in the break. Cool.
Okay.
Let's take a break. We'll come back and go on the final hour after this. We'll see you guys in just a bit.
That's good.